Hey friends, hey family. I'm sending this to pretty much everyone I know. I'm giving you all an update on what's been going on. So, you may know, you may not, but I am a full-time missionary at this point. It's been a really fun, long journey in these last few years, coming back to God, realizing what He actually intends for my life, and yeah, following Him where He leads. And at this point, He has led me to settle down and serve in Toowoomba. And I need to give you this update because as a missionary, you don't get paid. You're doing work that is not bringing in money because it's all voluntary. It's all caring for people where they don't have any way to return the favor. And that's not really a great business plan, but it's what God calls us to do. And so I'm letting you know what I'm doing here so that you can pray about whether you want to support me and the vision that I'm serving, or just pray for me, which is also probably more helpful, really. So let's get into it. So, Youth with a Mission as an organization, sorry, is based around this motto of know God and then make him known. Because you can't go and tell people who Jesus is, the work that he's done, what he means to humanity, without first knowing God, knowing why he did it, and knowing the gospel. So, the base, YWAM Toowoomba, has a ministry called DTS. What that is bringing young Christians in, or whatever age, who want to engage in missions, and teaching them, taking them through a few weeks, months of learning about God, learning about who the Bible says he is, learning about what's in the Bible, because honestly, a lot of us from church haven't actually read the whole thing. And then from that place of understanding, then taking them out into the world and letting them be equipped to actually be missionaries in the field. The next thing that's more specific to YWAM Toowoomba is teaching people about living a first commandment life. So the first and greatest commandment is to love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind. And we know that. So our base, the vision that I'm really serving here, is to bring people in and to teach them of the value of God, teach them how to minister to him, teach them how to worship him and declare to the world how beautiful he is, and have that heart that longs to seek God first. Not ourselves, not the praise of man, not to love our neighbor first, but to actually love God first. And that's what the School of Worship is all about. At the moment, I'm being a staff member on the School of Worship, so I'm working with people to bring that heart posture into their lives. And then with that heart of worship and love for God, then go out again into the world. And that's what I've been doing for the last 3 months here. That's my first role here. My roles will change over time. So I may be on the DTS school, I may be on the School of Worship, I may be doing an administrative role that the base requires to keep things running. And the thing that YWAM Toowoomba does in this town is obviously evangelize and speak to people whenever we get the chance. And the other ministry that they felt called to do here is to build this town up as a place where people are worshipping God. The real vision that God has given them is a whole town in Australia learning to worship God, which is just such a big prayer and is amazing. And we've set up a ministry called the Prayer Room where people are able to come in. It's run once a day, and they get the chance to worship God before they go out into the workforce. And so that is a thing we do every day here. And then we also have a refugee ministry where people have come from really difficult, suffering situations, and we go out there to speak with them, tell them about God's love for them, and to just practically care for them. It's one of our mercy ministries. And different schools and different ministries are growing here all the time. And I've just come to this base at this point in my life to grow and to serve those visions and to be under people, be led, and be the hands and feet that ministries need. And then I have sort of my own call, aside from what's going on here. When I sit down with God, sometimes He gives me this vision of an army of light, the church coming back to being a warrior bride, to being people who want to rise up, loving God, and find the darkness and just fight it head on. And I just long to raise that army. I long to be part of taking God's name to every corner of the earth, taking goodness and charity and love to every single place where people are broken. But I know that I am not that leader yet. And the other thing God tells me to do when I sit with Him is to grow. I'm like a little sapling. And if I want to do anything in that kind of way, or if I want to do it with God, He needs a tree. I am not a tree yet. And so here I'm learning, I'm growing that heart for loving God first, so that when the time comes for me to set that up, I'm not going to, well, become one of those stories that we hear about people all the time who fall into sin when they gain a position of power. Because that's what happens when you're not set up. So anyway, what's going on right now is my school of worship. We've prayed about it and we feel led to go to Japan and break up the ground there, worship over the people there, pray in the streets, go and build another ministry that's started there that could use our hands just to fix up this old samurai building. So it's pretty exciting, but I need funding for that. And I have no capability in myself to actually pay for a trip to Japan, or the food, or anything like that. And then once we're back from Japan, we actually feel to head into North Queensland and work with ministries up in Townsville and, again, worship in the streets, go talk to people, pray over that entire city. And so that's the first thing I need support in. And then the other thing is just support in general here. I still pay rent. I still have to eat. I don't somehow become spirit and live off hopes and dreams here. Well, I could try, but I'd probably starve to death. So those are the two things that I would love for you to pray into, whether you want to be some kind of regular support or just help me with this outreach. But the third thing that you could pray for is coming. Like, to be very honest, that will be the most useful thing. The more people that are committed to this, the faster we can change this world for the better. The faster we can do good, the easier it'll be to lead people. So yeah, that's my update. I hope you're all doing well. I'll be praying for you. And talk to me whenever you want.